Hey guys, welcome back. It's Missy, and today I thought we would talk about how to stop seeking others' validation and how to seek it within ourselves. When you seek approval, you basically are trying to put out an identity out there that you think other people will approve of. So with that, it can be really hard to be authentic, or you lose your sense of self because you get so caught up in trying to be a certain person that will be approved of. And then the need to gain others' approval can control your life. So I figured, let's talk about that topic today. But before we get started, if you are new here, welcome. I'm a life and relationship coach, and on this channel we get to the root of the issue and learn how to heal and deal. So if that's your thing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to be a part of the fam. Also, don't forget to check my links below. We have a Patreon, I have an online course. I'd love to see you guys there. Let's get into today's video. So to start it off, let's talk about why we seek validation from others. So first, our relationship with validation starts in childhood with our caregivers and our parents, or even our teachers, and even as a higher up that we respect. So if we got the validation that we needed, when our caretakers, whatever, would look when we would say look at things, or they would approve of what we were saying and doing, then we would form our own ability to be able to validate ourselves, and we would have high self-worth. We form a sense of value as children from that praise and from that validation. Like we receive what we need, and then we learn to take it on our own. It becomes our own inner voice. Now, what happens to a child that is invalidated or is ignored or is told negative things? That child will then form a low self-worth, will have low self-esteem, and that child will constantly seek reassurance from others and seek the approval of others. Also, if they constantly are taught to second guess themselves, they also will constantly seek the validation and approval of others. So when that happens, that's why we will seek. If you're one of those children that were invalidated, then you will seek the validation of others. Or if you were taught to second guess yourself, you will seek the validation and the approval of others, of like, hey, is this okay? So it causes us as a child to feel low about ourselves and feel a sense of inferiority. And also, what causes us to seek the approval of others depends on our attachment style. So if you have an insecure attachment style, if you have an anxious attachment style where you feel that you need others in order to survive, like you need them as much as you need food and water, you need their love, you need their validation. Or if you have anxious fearful attachment where you crave and go after relationships and love, but then pull back and run away and avoid when things get tougher, when you get scared or when you get triggered, that again, you will constantly seek that approval and seek that validation for you to feel worthy and for you to feel enough by that person. I meant to say fearful avoidant attachment. Having a lack of validation is something you will feel deep in your core. You'll feel like there's a hole inside of you and you're constantly trying to find ways to fill it. We've evolved to seek and have validation because it was a way that we survived. Like when we received validation from others, we were able to stay a part of the pack and live longer. So seeking validation and wanting validation from others, don't get me wrong, we are always going to want some sort of validation, but there's a difference between obsessively and needing to go out of your way to receive validation versus like you being able to validate yourself, and then when other people validate you, it's a cherry on top, because that's really what it should be. So one of the first things in order to learn how to stop seeking validation is to be aware of your validation seeking behavior. So I've written some down. So one is, it's hard to make decisions without seeking others' input. So before you do anything, you may need to see how the people around you feel, or People that you're afraid of losing, you'll be like, okay, is this a good decision? Should I do this? And you'll kind of want them to make that decision for you, small or big. It could be what you're wearing, or it could be as big as, what job you're going to take. Coaxing people for compliments. So maybe being like, oh, I look so ugly today, or oh, my new haircut's so ugly. Like, you're looking for people to give you compliments. Feeling sad, happy, anxious, or angry based on outside sources and what's happening with others, especially with relationships. So when something happens outside of us, when we get the job we wanted, or the person we likes us back, we feel all happy and the world is great. And then when, something bad happens, like we don't get the car we wanted, or we get in a fight with our partner, the world sucks and I just don't want to be here and I hate everybody. Like, those things affect how you feel so strongly, and it could make or break your day. Seeking excessive reassurance that you've done or are doing the right thing. So constantly asking people, hey, was this the right thing to do? Should I do this? Feeling unconfident about decisions you're making or you're going to make. And needing other people to tell you that what you're doing is good and okay. Changing or softening your viewpoint if someone is showing disagreement. So if someone says something and you start to say a different opinion, and then they're like, oh no, I don't feel that way, then you immediately will backtrack if you see that they are showing a dislike for what you're saying, or they are not on the same page, or they're not on the same side as you. They have a different viewpoint. So you may backtrack, or you may say, oh no, I didn't mean it like that. I meant it like this. I agree more with what you were saying. You may reject opportunities and experiences you want because you worry whether others will approve. Pretty self-explanatory. So you won't go after the things that you really want out of the fear of what other people will think about it, or if it will get you abandoned. Now, instead of seeking compliments, you will give insincere compliments to others. So you see someone, you want them to like you, you'll say, oh, I really like your shoes, even though those are the ugliest shoes you've ever seen. It's just very insincere and inauthentic. And you're doing it for a sense of approval. You get upset when someone disagrees with you. You may feel worried or get really embarrassed. You may express agreement when you really don't agree. Feeling shame if someone disapproves of your work or your ideas or the things that you're doing. You may ask for permission when it's not necessary. Hey, is it okay if I go to bed early tonight? You're an adult. You don't have to ask for people's permission. This is a big one that I don't think we talk about enough. But doing things like gossiping or being mean to others for the approval of others. So if you're in a group of friends or a group of people that are talking badly about someone or being mean to someone, they're all on board. And if you're not doing that, then you will feel like an outcast and you immediately want to get that approval. So you'll be mean to this person even though that's not who you are. Pretending you know more than you actually do out of fear at admitting that you don't know these things, and then being ridiculed or disapproved of. Sacrificing yourself, your identity, or your values in the hopes of approval from another. People pleasing, wanting others to approve of you. So pleasing other people and going out of your way to sacrifice yourself for them is a type of validation. It makes you feel good because people approve of what you're doing and you are pleasing them. So those are some of the behaviors. So you want to be aware, okay, the first way to stop seeking validation is be aware of some of the behaviors you do and then actively go against those behaviors. It's so important to be aware when we're doing these things, because how do we stop doing things if we're not aware we're even doing it? So think back to some of those things, like, okay, which one of those do I do? How can I go against those behaviors and stop doing those things? The next thing, which is the biggest thing, is identifying who you are and being true to who you are and truly accepting this is you and you are proud of you. So you need to be aware of the good and the bad and accept this is you. This is who you are. You don't always have to be better and do better. You could just be you, and that is enough. And you will still be liked and loved for being you. That is enough. So it's so important to truly identify who you are, and this could take a while to identify who you are, because for so long you may have been what everyone else, or what you thought was the ideal person of what everyone else would approve of. The biggest thing, the most important thing is, I keep saying that, but is to know that even though you have negative traits, and even if you do negative things, it doesn't mean people are immediately going to abandon you or not like you because of those things. I mean, obviously there's a scale of severity. If you murder someone's cat, yeah, they're probably not going to like you, want to hang out with you. But if you get in a fight, that doesn't immediately mean that they're going to abandon you and not like you anymore, or think any less of you. So take out a journal and write the good and the bad about you. And with the negative traits, look for ways to disprove that you are those negative traits. Because oftentimes when we are seeking approval from others and we've lost our sense of self, or we never got to form a strong sense of self, we will have extreme negative views of ourselves, more negative than they actually are. So look for ways to disprove that you are not those things. So you see, hey, I'm not as bad as I thought I was. And even if you see some evidence to prove that maybe you are some of those negative things, that's okay. We all have to have flaws and negative things. That's normal. You can't be perfect. That would be weird. We would live in a weird society if we were all perfect. Like, what would be the point of life's journey? The next is saying positive affirmations. This is so important. It's important to change your thoughts and to change your actions. So you want to tell yourself those positive affirmations, like, I am enough, and I love myself, and I don't need other people's approval to feel good, and other people's approval does not attribute to my self-worth. Telling these things and knowing that you are loved no matter what, and then acting off of those things, meaning going and meeting new people and being yourself and doing those things, will help encourage you to really love yourself and form that sense of love, self-love, and validate yourself of, like, it's okay to be me and good things are happening being me. Because we need the action and we need the belief we form through our words. So think of negative things you tell yourself and then come up with an affirmation to counteract that. Or think about things that you need to hear, that you need to tell yourself, and look in the mirror and say those things to yourself. And it's so important to say it with conviction. So don't just say it like, I am enough, I am worthy. No, like, you need to say it with all your being and say it like you mean it and you want to believe it. It's going to be weird at first, but you want to say it with meaning and conviction. And like you want to believe it. Fake it till you make it. Our brains need repetition, so it's going to take a while. Our brains are always going to go backwards to the negativity that we're used to, because that's how we've survived for so long in our minds. Like, being negative or thinking less of ourselves has helped us to feel like we are part of society, so we felt like we survived. That was our protection and our survival mechanism. So when we try to step away from that, our brain's like, wait a minute, I don't like this. Brains want to be comfortable. If they're uncomfortable, that feels dangerous. So they think they're in danger. Your brain thinks you're in danger. So you have to continuously be consistent and repetitive with your brain. Even if you feel like you're going backwards, that means you're doing something right. Another thing is make decisions on your own without first calling someone or seeking the approval of another person. Trusting in yourself that you can make a decision for yourself without needing to talk to someone. And also, even like with venting, before you vent, go and make a video or go and write it out before needing to tell someone else, because even that is a way to seek validation through negativity, through just venting to everybody and them being like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened, or you just being heard constantly. Like, don't get me wrong, it's really important to have both, yourself and others, but you first have to go to yourself, so you're your own best friend and you can comfort yourself. You don't need someone else to comfort you. You can comfort yourself, and also someone else can comfort you as well. Like I said, neither both, but you want to be the person you go to first. Trust yourself and your decision making and your ability to comfort yourself and to soothe yourself. I promise you can do it. You have it in you. Another thing is it's important to form passions and hobbies of your own. When you have passions and hobbies, you're focused less on what people are thinking of you, and you're more so focused on feeling good in your own skin, because that's what's really important. Part of validation rather is like when you feel good about something you're doing and you feel good in your own and you feel worthy and positive. And one of those things that makes us feel worthy and positive and good is when we're working towards something and we're gaining a new skill or whatever it is. That's why when we're kids and we're like, Mommy, Daddy, look at this. That's why we get that validation. It's because I did this thing and they feel good about it, so it makes me feel good about it. So do things that make you feel good, and you'll focus less on what people are thinking about you. And the biggest, most important thing is to validate yourself and tell yourself that you're doing a good job or that you're proud of yourself. So every time you do something, you need to tell yourself that you're proud of yourself, and you need to genuinely feel proud of yourself and give yourself acknowledgement and validation. The next one is be aware when you agree to do things and you're only agreeing to do things for others' approval. So when you do something, notice your intentions. Why are you doing that thing? Was it because you generally thought it was a good idea? Or was it because you know you'll get something out of it, like the other person will like you, or you're pleasing them in some sort of way? Are you sacrificing yourself to make this person happy? Are you doing it in the hopes of receiving praise or approval? If you are, then it's probably best you say no to that thing. Only do things that you feel that will genuinely benefit you, or things that you genuinely want to do because it will help someone else, not because you will receive something from it, like approval. So, bottom line, at the end of the day, when it comes to feeling the need to seek others' validation and approval, it's important that you're aware that no matter what, everyone's always going to have negative opinions of you. You will never get 100% the validation and approval from others, because everyone has their own viewpoints of you and they project things onto you, and only you know the real you and know your true intention. So there's the you that you show others, and then there's the you are when you're by yourself. You can't fully show everything, and not only that, but you can't control how other people perceive you or think of you, and that is none of your concern. That's none of your business. And that's what I tell myself on a regular basis. If I'm ever worried or stressed, I say that's none of my business what other people are thinking. You have to choose to let the need for validation from others go, and you need to heal that wound inside yourself of the lack of validation you never received. So what do you guys think? Leave it on the comments below, and please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with someone that you think may need it. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye guys. I don't know if you can hear that right now, but that's my baby monitor. There's like a little I don't know if you guys can hear it. Anyways, every time I hear any type of noise, I keep looking at the screen because I'm so afraid my baby's gonna wake up. But thankfully, so far, we're good. I'm just getting over a cold. It was like the cold from hell, but I sound very snuffy. I feel snuffy. I sound nasally and stuffy.